Hello, and yeah, this idea came to me in the dream, so I've got to build it and see how it works. Now, I copied, if I go to Fulgora, I'll show you I called it the trash spinner. It's a design that Ninhouse made, which I've since adapted, and as you can see here, things go in there, and then when there's a surplus, they come out, and then various tricks are done to compress it. And as you can see, eventually these things they grind to a halt, they start stalling, and it's unfortunate. It's like, my friends and we've tried various things to mitigate this, but it's not working. So I have a new solution. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this more or less, and I'm going to redesign it. So I'm going to put it over here, like so. And what I'll do is I'll pause the recording and I'll come back to you when all of this is built, because a lot of this doesn't need to build. Okay, so I was getting confused with everything else, so I've put it down to the simplest thing. So here's the input. It then gets processed through the recyclers, and the initial output comes out. And as you can see, it's based on the most likely outcomes of scrap, so cogs, solid fuel, concrete, ice, and then eventually you end up with holmium, and then plastic and stone brick are not as likely. And then I said, well, look, if anything exists after that, come back to this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add storage, and I'm going to have two outputs. So if I go back to this as a reference, right, so you can see here, so cogs go there, and they come along this belt, and then eventually this belt this sort of belt goes there and joins the rest of it. So these are storage warehouse, well, they're storage storehouses, I should say. And then when they fill up with something, that's when they stop working. Alright, well, look, it's fine that this is stored because it's absolutely full of holmium, so it's not bad this is stored. So they fill up, and then when there's any excess, it goes here. Right, I've got it. Okay, so let's get back over there, and I'm going to do the same thing again, and watch this space. And welcome back. So we're sort of halfway here now. What I've done is I had to think about things and thought, well, I'd like to use the warehouses, and so it's modified from the previous design. So as you can see here, these filter outputs, they'll go here, they'll be collected by the storage warehouse, and then any surplus will go here. And as you can see, the priority belt is back to the recycler, and the other belt, the non-priority belt, this is going to be the excess runoff. So I'm going to design, now I think, just for my sanity, because I'm not very good with compact builds, input's going to be here, and I have a train station offloading scrap, and it will go there. And then, so the output will be here somewhere. Oh yeah, we need to modify this. So look, I've got some more work to do. And in addition to this, do you see that I've made the filter here iron gear wheel, so only iron gear can go in there. I've got to modify that to all these warehouses because I just copied and pasted the design except for this bit, because of course this is where holmium lives. So I'll be right back. Alright, so it's now coming together. I think my design's going to work. So as you can see here, I say very simple logic. Part of me was thinking, oh, I'll make an SR latch, so if you see the storage of 2000, I'll say, oh, when it gets to 1950, I'll have an exit channel come out of the storehouse, but the belt only goes when it's above that. And then I'll say, oh, well, when you get below, I don't know, 100 storage, then turn the belt off. And then I'll just say, oh, right, well, you do that, and then you go to this. This is the this is me overflow. So all the overflow, for the moment, it goes to a warehouse. If you're doing this as a vanilla game, you could just say, well, this is going to go to a bunch of recyclers that just recycle it into nothing. In my case, it's going to go to... it's going to get teleported to Volcano, so I can just chuck it all into the lava. But we need some input. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So let's pause it here, and I'm going to build myself a train station. Woo! Train stations. I actually realised I don't have any railway network on Fulgora. I mean, if you see here, look, there's a big pile of scrap, and there's a big pile of scrap. But I've got no... I say I've got no trains. I've got teleporter trains, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just use the bots to do it for now. So there we go. Here's a bunch of scrap going in. Here we can see the scrap's going to these things, and yeah, they're picking it up. And I will probably add a few machines to compress this belt's output. For example, if I go to this trash spinner, you see we got, well, all the stone can be compressed into landfill. That makes sense. You can compress concrete into hazard concrete. And what do I compress cogs into? I just have a separate stage to recycle them. Oh, right, but... yeah, iron into chests, steel into chests, and... oh, we've done another one. How redundant. But anyway, let's just sort of see how it goes. Because I think this is going to be the interesting bit. And like I said, it's a prototype. I mean, if this was in your build, you can put whatever you think goes here. Could even be a rocket silo. But then you'd need to... like, for example, I've got... no, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one. Right, this is the ship machine. It throws stuff into space, and I've got, like, some filters on here to say, well, look, things which I need... don't throw those into space, but anything else that comes up, do it. And I have to set this manually. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's a nice idea, but it's only ever going to be manual. You have to manually operate it. So as we can see here, you know, the machine, it's filling up with stuff, and oh, the bots are quite happy that they're getting things again. So, you know, they're going back to it. They're picking things up, and then yeah, you sort of see here, you know, got some stuff that's getting filtered. Yeah, I've put only one stack insert on this because I realised like having like 6 of them is just overkill. I mean, we can see even here, like anything the stack insert is not picking up. And in fact, if I wanted to make this even faster, I could do that. So there we go. How's about that for an idea? Yeah, let's just tweak this design a little bit. Again, these are the mods which I'm happy with. You don't have to do it my way. I'm just doing this because I think it's... well, to be honest, these are mods which my friend said, oh, you must use this. And I was like, must I? And they're like, look, trust me, you don't have to use it, but I'm going to use it and you'll see it. And then I was convinced because it's like, well, look, this arm's having to travel... I can't quite explain it with arms, right? But, like, the further away they are, the faster they are. So, this travel 180 degrees. Oh, that's it. Right, okay. So, with these arms, 180 degrees takes longer to travel than this, which is doing... I mean, what do you call that sort of angle? But it's a lot less... well, let's just say for argument's sake that's 120, and then if you were to do this, for example, see, it's even faster. But I'm going to just slow it down like that. And I don't know why arms work like that. They do. So that's a neat little trick you can use to make arms go faster in the game. As we can see here, we're still at the stage where scrap's coming in. We're just trying to get all this scrap and accumulate a stockpile of various things. But we're already on 146 of this, so what I'll do is... Yeah, I'm recording. So if I pause the recording, shall we come back to it in a bit? I'm going to go off and do some other stuff, so let's come back to it in like half an hour or so and see what happens. And we're back. I've modified the... Because here's the thing, right? In the previous trash spinner, I did it this way, and it sort of works, but half of these don't actually get to output ever because there's just never any gap on them on the belt. So I thought, well, let's make it more equitable. And this way, look, all the machines, they're all busy. Well, I say they're all busy. You saw that one take a break and that one take a break, but I get a feeling it sort of makes it more equal amongst them. Now, look, we're at the stage now. This is full, so now we see it's off. It's using the offload thing. Yep, some of it's coming back into there. Good, and then it's offloading into there. And this, like, will be the, it will eventually, this is a placeholder. That's the word I was looking for. It's a placeholder. So the fact is, this will go to something, in my case it's a teleporting train. So once the train just fills up with junk, it goes to Volcanus and it goes and chucks it into the lava. But I think, yep. I think this will work. So they're still taking on scrap. But if I come all the way to here, still taking on scrap. But cogs aren't going somewhere, so someone must be taking cogs, because otherwise, unless what's happening is these belts are just filling up. And then, but then, here we go. Right, so some cogs are going there, and that's where we start seeing the iron plates come out. That makes sense. And I don't know why. Maybe because its highest priority is here, but it seems that it was really keen on outputting cogs. But anyway. And things. Well, I say things are backing up. No, they're still going through the overflow outlet. Now, I might have to revise this in the future and put in more lanes, because it may just be that you're trying to put too much on this belt at one time. But as it is at the moment, I think this is going to work. Yeah. Right. So this is my new revised one. I mean, what, you guys interested in the blueprint? I mean, I can make a blueprint of this, but like I said, it's got placeholders. This is a placeholder. The only reason I put this in is because, as you can see there, 1800 storage. It gives me plenty of time to sort of think about making that rail network and the train teleporter. But I mean, if I was going to do this another way, so let's say I'm playing vanilla-ish Factorio. Let's just say I'm doing that. So I do this, and then I'll have one of them, like so, and I'll put this in here, and put one of those in there, like so. And then I say vanilla-ish because you know me. I'll do that there, like so. And yeah, you know, just there we go. There's some of that. There's some of this. So I mean, if I just did it this way, it would work. Well, put some of that in as well. Yeah, maybe that'll work. We're going a bit faster now. I mean, something like this would work for you. You know, you'd have some belt balancers or whatever, or you'd have a bunch of like recyclers here, and you just keep on recycling until you end up with nothing. But this is ending up with iron. Will this stall? See, I've never actually tried this, so I don't know if it stalls or not. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's full. And that's full. So that's full, and that's full. Ah. I thought this would just recycle into oblivion, but it doesn't do that. Okay, well, look, I don't know how this would work in vanilla. Maybe you'd have a rocket silo here. And is there a way you can tie a rocket silo into a platform like this and just say, like, look, whatever's coming up, you're going to accept it, right? Because as far as I know, these platforms, they all pull. So they all pull from rocket silos down on the planet's surface and say, bring it up here. But is there a way to push using a rocket silo? I mean, you could say, oh, well, that's very wasteful, isn't it? But it's like, well, not really. See, if I have a look at my... where's my rocket silo? No, there's not a rocket silo. Is that... There's my rocket silo. I mean, you know, all this stuff is more or less made on the planet as a byproduct of scrap recycling. But look, I think this here, it will work. We've got a lot of cogs, a lot of iron gears, but it's going to work. Yes, indeed. And it seems the bottleneck now is just the speed of this belt. Well, that's about as good as you can get, unless you use modded belts, but I'm not going to do that. So, yeah. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So in theory, if this placeholder... Well, okay, look, this experiment didn't work. But in theory, you do this, you have it go to something which just, no matter what's in there, it takes it and destroys it, and you end up with this non-stalling trash spinner. And some of the things I've done here are optional. I just thought it would be fun to do. And that's it, really. I woke up this morning and I just thought, I know how to fix the trash spinner. I know how to prevent it from... Well, I say I know how to prevent it from stalling. Eventually, it will stall here. But that's okay. If it's stalled here, you can't see my finger pointing at the screen. If you stall it here, that's good, because the end result of scrap processing for me is to get holmium. If I want anything else, that's why Volcanus exists. Volcanus, look, we got blue, green and red. That's all you could want. And then, you know, we got vast fields of everything else. So Volcanus is for production. Fulgora is for holmium. Right, that's it. I've done it now. So, time to upload the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Oh, and let me know if you want a blueprint, but, I mean, look, if I just go here, it's the Nilhouse trash spinner, but I've modified it to use the warehousing mod. That's all. And then I did the tweak to the arms so that they move faster by changing the angle and making it a smaller angle. That's all. I think you can figure this out. And look, if you build it yourself, you only need half of these recyclers. Like, all the recyclers I made here, I mean, as you can see, they are, like, recycling way more than what can be processed here. So, in fact, I'm thinking, actually... Alright, let me pause this a second. This is going to be fun. This is what I love about Factorio. Rather than going, oh, I've built too many of these, why don't I just halve it? No. you just double up, just copy and paste, and there you go. There's the design, and the construction robots do it for you. I've slightly modified this, so you see the surplus path that comes to return it. It just goes into 4 of these machines. I reckon that'll be sufficient. I may be wrong, but look, that's it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.